Day 73. Oh my God, I'm just feeling so much better. So much better. I don't know how the energies have changed. Certainly, my body is just so incredibly, sensitive to all that. And certainly I am responding to the overall energies, but I'm just feeling so palpably differently. This morning I woke up and there was just like this joyful presence, and instead of like some mornings that are difficult, I just cocoon in my bed and just like hide myself and keep myself safe. And today I got out of bed quite quickly, quite early, went to my terrace, had my coffee outside, was writing my journal outside. I mean, just it felt very differently. I'm gearing up for my program that I'll be launching soon again, and there's a lot of excitement and swirl of activity around that. Thinking a lot about my relationship, obviously, all of them, but particularly with my husband. It's funny, it's still like it's again, the spiral came back, and I'm again at thinking about it, and so much of what I find myself in struggles about, and so much of what I see with my clients is that we're now stuck between the conditioned responses and expectations that were conditioned by older generations, the way things were done before, the expectations that were associated with gender roles in the past, and our greatly expanded sense of self and our desire to self-realize and self-actualize and to be free, and to we feel more and more that we have the right to be happy, and as women not only serve others but also that we deserve to have our own dreams and all that stuff. So I find that a lot of what we're experiencing is actually that kind of state of flux through the confrontation of the old that is still conditioned in us but no longer serves us, and the new, which we're already sort of recognizing but have not yet embodied in our system. So what I'm finding is, in my own process, for example, like I know I'm responsible for my own happiness. I know I am empowered to make the choices in my own life and everything, except that when I go into my wounded places, especially when it's through trigger with my husband, I get very angry that he is not, perfectly performing a certain role that's not really normal. It's not really normal to expect from him. So what is happening is that in moments of triggers, in moments when I feel like when my inner child steps in, I am not in I am in my old self. I'm in my smaller self. I'm in my still adaptive mechanisms from childhood self. Because if I take the time to think about it, like, when I took the time to process and understand our last big fight, I understood that my expectations and what I thought was aching in my heart wasn't really his to take away. It wasn't his, it's mine. So when I started processing and understanding and sort of going into like what that wound feels like in my body and taking care of all of that for myself, a big chunk of that heavy energy dissipated, and I no longer held that kind of grudgy feeling toward my husband. Suddenly there was this lightness in place where there was this stuckness and that kind of anger before. So the anger that I thought was about him had nothing to do with him. And when I attended it and addressed it in my body for myself, it no longer was an issue between us. So this is what, what I am dealing with. This is where I'm taking my clients, is that looking beyond the superficial feelings and emotions. Like, I'm angry, I'm so angry at him, he did this or he didn't do that. Well, let's go beyond, let's go deeper. What's behind that anger? What is it all about? Something about, him not standing up for me, or not like defending me in front of, like, say, his family or something. But then I'm realizing, well, do I need defending? I'm 56 now. Like, that's like, if I can't stand up for myself in front of my family-in-law, or anyone for that matter, then that's the problem. Do you know what I mean? So when I start thinking about it and go beyond just this superficial layer of what's going on, what I'm feeling, that I'm realizing that my expectations are not realistic. My expectations still come from my inner child, and that's not who I like to run the show of my relationships. So this is what's coming up today. I wanted to share. I'll be back tomorrow.